Scoping the Ruger Old Army 10mm Redhawk and 10mm Hi-Point Carbine, William Hovey Smith and Carson Miller, 2018. I'm the author of Extreme Muzzleloading, and here we're trying some scopes on some very interesting firearms. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. We are going to resume our kitchen table reloading and shooting with 3 different guns. Starting with the largest, we have the Hi-Point 10mm carbine, which now sports a scoped sight with auxiliary iron sights for rapid short-range target acquisition. Now, our use for this gun is really short-range work at 100 yards, basically on hogs and deer. So that's the reason we selected this particular sighting system, and we'll have a chance to try that out. We're also trying to develop ammunition that will run in both the carbine as well as this Ruger Redhawk revolver, which you will also note now has a scope sight. So we're going to load up some ammunition that has about 1,200 feet per second with a 180 grain hollow pointed bullet, which should function both in the carbine as well as give very accurate results in the handgun. Then, moving to yet another genre of firearms, this is the Ruger Old Army percussion pistol, loaded with black powder loads, actually 777. But what we're interested in doing here is building loads for the .45 long Colt, which we may shoot through this gun, by the way, by using an auxiliary cylinder here. Yep. And what we hope to do is to have built loads that will shoot to the same point of aim as our black powder loadings. We've already tried some loads in this gun at lesser velocities. So now we're trying to equalize the velocity so we can shoot to the same point of aim with the same adjustment of the scope sights. So that's what we're going to be about. Now I'm going to reload some ammunition. You've seen me do that before with this old ancient press over here. And once I get us some rounds run, we're going to run out to the range and actually try them out. Well, we're at an improvised range now, and we're going to load up a Ruger Old Army with a load of 2,400. And this is actually 18 grains of 2,400. And this is the first time we've shot smokeless powder through this pistol, as well as the first time we've shot it with a scope. So this is very much a first trial effort. And you load the cylinder like yay. And of course, this being a percussion gun, it needs firing pins. And so this recoil shield has the firing pins attached. They fit on the cylinder yay. And then you proceed to reload, just as if you were putting in a percussion cylinder. The gun is on half cock. You almost need 3 hands to do this. This, of course, holds the cylinder into the gun, and so you put it in, and although this piece is extraneous now, it doesn't really do any function, then you lock it in and rotate this a half turn. So that gets your cylinder now freely rotating in the gun, and you're actually ready to shoot. So we put on our ears, cock, aim down range, and see what happens. Well, we're about at 10 yards, half an inch low of the X. Pretty good. All right, let's try another. Not quite so good. About an inch lower than the X. about 1.5 inches low, but sort of centered around. So I need to take a little elevation. With the Ruger Old Army, I think we're done. Yeah, we wanted to get a sighting in with a scope at 25 yards. We've shot 6, 7, 8, 9 shots, and I think we've achieved our objective. We've got other guns to work with, but these loads with Kato Ojama's 255 grain bullet for the Old Army are working very well out of this pistol. So I don't see any reason we shouldn't be able to get a piece of game at that range with this gun. That's as close as I can hold under these circumstances. This load of 2400 is a pretty stout load for this conversion cylinder, and I would not exceed it. This compares to the 800 to 900 feet per second that you usually use for cowboy action loads. Now we're going to do with the Ruger Redhawk and see how this scope does. Now this is a Thompson Center scope, and it is a pistol scope. So we'll see how it works on this gun. Before I chronograph it though, I'm going to shoot a few rounds and see if we can target this thing in. And if you don't know this gun, it shoots a 10 millimeter, and yes, you need to use a full moon clip. But you can actually shoot the rounds without the clip. As they index also on the end of the case. But it's certainly more convenient to use a clip. Well, we've zeroed our scope with our Super Redhawk, and this was our target at 10 yards. And so we found, obviously it was shooting a little bit to the right, and then we adjusted to the right and moved it to 25 yards, and we found out that it is shooting somewhat high, although correct this way. I tried to adjust down, but the adjustments don't seem to be taking. It seems to me that this is going to be shooting about 3 inches high at 25 yards, which is going to put the bullet about on target at 100 yards. After our last experience with the Hi-Point Carbine, we were having some functional problems, so Jay has since cleaned it. And we also have a new pretty little scope on it. Yeah, we sure do. And it has the options of having a set of iron sights on top and a scope on the bottom. And we're going to see if we can zero both of these. This is a typical object from a design team that doesn't shoot or use the objects they design. Yeah, it has all kinds of neat bells and whistles on it, but it just doesn't work. So Jay, go ahead and let's get started. Well, we found out we were halfway there, at least where the ammunition goes. But unfortunately, the sight we tried, if there are any adjustment functions on here, even though it has knobs for windage and elevation, I can't find them. That is, we have adjusted more than 100 clicks in various directions and had absolutely no movement on the target at all. The iron sights are so coarse that, yeah, if you have a guy coming at you at 10 yards, they're useful, but for nothing else. No, unfortunately, the idea is good, the scope looks cool, but it is really non-functional. Good concept, bad execution. Sorry about that one. Coarse as they were, I was able to adjust the iron sight sufficiently so I could safely shoot through my chronograph screens. And we did get 1,297 feet per second from the Hi-Point Carbine, and it functioned well with this level of reloads. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Besides extreme muzzleloading, I have other outdoor books. And these include Backyard Deer Hunting, Converting Deer to Dinner for Pennies per Pound, and also a series of e-books including shooting and maintaining your muzzleloader, as well as hunting big and small game with muzzleloading pistols. My most recent book is Create Your Own Job Security. Plan to start your own business at midlife. What I advocate in this book is a person start a whole series of businesses throughout their lives, so that when the time comes and they get their layoff slips, guess what? They've already got their business up and running, and they've been operating it quietly in the background whilst they've been employed. So when they get their pink slips, all they have to do is give that business an infusion of cash and roar down the highway of success with a business that they already own. Putting scopes on both of those revolvers improved their accuracy considerably. Now, out of the 45 long Colt, the 18 grains of 2400 gave me 1,262 feet per second from that gun's 14-inch barrel. And that is a good hunting load for that particular gun, and I'm well satisfied with it. As mentioned before, the scope on that Hi-Point carbine was about worthless, and no, if you got one, maybe it'll work, but mine sure as blazes didn't. Now, the 10 millimeter loads of 10.2 grains of blue dot and 180 grain jacketed hollow point got nearly 1,300 feet per second and provided reliable function in the carbine, which was something we were really looking for. For information on my books, blogs, and more than 700 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoviasmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.